Please welcome to the stage the Petting Zoo, everybody, Petting Zoo. So come and sit down, guys.
Hello.
The Petting Zoo. What an amazing...
Sorry, I want a cushion.
That's all right, you're on a saltire. Just obscure the Union Jack, and we'll be fine. So tell me, why the Petting Zoo? What's that title all about?
Well, there's 8 members of our group, so it's quite hard for us to come to a decision on a name. So I think someone just had to pick something.
We actually did a vote on. We just put loads of names into a hat and then voted on the most sort of middle of the road name we could think of.
This is something that you probably won't remember, really.
Yeah.
But,
and now we're kind of, now we've kind of stuck with it. So it means absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing at all. The Petting Zoo. Great. And so, what are your names individually? So we can go along.
I'm Liz.
Liz.
I'm Jim.
Jim.
I'm Freddie.
Liz, Jim, and Freddie. Oh, it's like the Rainbow Gang. So how did you get together in the first place to do the show?
Improv school.
Improv school.
We met at school.
It's like normal school, but
with
without
no rules.
Without being kicked by older boys.
That's a good school.
It's sort of where lots of adults who are having a crisis decide to go and learn a new skill. But yeah, so we all sort of met doing classes in London.
Yeah.
And then sort of just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to learn unless you start performing. So we just started performing.
For sure.
To, some dreadful gigs.
Yeah.
We're good now.
I prefer the dreadful gigs. I remember our first one was especially bad. That was at the it's near the Comedy Store.
Yeah, it's like
I won't name it.
Next door.
I don't.
Yeah.
It was horrendous.
I think I know. I think I may have performed improv there myself. I know what you mean.
The compere basically the whole time said how bad he thought improv was, and then introduced us onto stage, which was.
He sort of had a lineup of stand-ups, and then said, now I guess we're going to have to. Right, let's get it over with. Let's have the improv group up. So
Come on, everybody.
I don't know. We are pretty much most improvisers are fighting against the sort of stigma,
the prejudice.
That it's quite a bad thing to do. But we're very.
I love great improv. I think it's brilliant.
Most people confuse it with stand-up. So you tell people we do improv, and they're, you do stand-up comedy. They said, no, it's improv.
Yeah.
They said, well, what's the difference? You said, well, stand-up's got everything written down, and they learn their lines and they perform it, and improv you make it up.
Well, actually, in my case, not necessarily even write it down.
No, that's true.
So just wing it. But no, you're absolutely. And improv, is a great yes and. That's the thing that I've learnt in life. Am I right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
fantastic.
Yeah.
The yes
That's all we
rule.
say in our show, actually.
That's what you say.
Yeah.
Now, what will you be? Sorry, because we're having to wrap up a little bit with it time-wise. Tell us what you'll be doing after the Fringe. Plans for shows around the UK?
Well, we're actually, weirdly, we've become quite famous in Malaysia. So we're going to go to Malaysia.
So you and Thomas, can he join the troupe as well?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We'll
always
become
open.
famous together.
Yeah,
in Malaysia.
That'd be excellent. We need some more musical numbers.
Superb.
We have none.
So give us a plug for your show, down the camera and the live studio audience to tell us where it is,
Freddie,
what it is.
Do you like YouTube? Do you like improv? Do you love to laugh? If you answered yes to one of those, then you should come along to our venue at 12:45 every day at the Counting House, and we will take your suggestions, plug them into YouTube, we'll watch whatever video comes up, and we'll perform scenes based off that. Doesn't that sound hilarious and wacky? Yes, it does.
Brilliant. The Petting Zoo, everybody. Fantastic. So it's Liz, Jim, and Freddie.
Yes.
That's right.
Liz, Jim, and Freddie, the Petting Zoo. How fantastic, marvellous. I'm going to go. And what time is it on again?
12:45 from
PM.
Sunday on.
We have a fantastic guest for you now, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited to welcome the superb musical comedy of Peter Antoniou. Please welcome to the stage, Peter Antoniou. Round of applause, everyone.
Hello, guys. Prepare to be mildly disappointed as you get psychic comedy, not music comedy. Soz. So my name's Peter Antoniou. I'm actually a psychic comedian, or comedium, if you prefer, which means over the short time we have together with the studio audience, I'll read your mind, I'll fondle your frontal lobe at home. Your mind will leave alone. That man's disgusting in the audience. Don't look at him. But obviously, I want to dive into someone's mind. So during during the break, I asked everyone in the room to think of like someone from their past, sort of someone they were romantically involved with. So hopefully everyone's thinking of someone. I'm going to pick that lady there. What is your name? Caroline, will you join me on stage? Everyone's going to give you a massive round of applause, Caroline. Up you come, Caroline. Caroline, you can come here. Is this the first time you've been on television?
Yes.
Jolly good. Well, welcome. And what do you do as a job, Caroline?
Education.
Yeah, education, action. What sort of...
Education consultant.
Oh, so you sort of teach teachers how to teach?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and how's that going for you?
I'm here on a Friday afternoon, so...
Yeah, well, good, excellent. Well, we'll turn that around for you, Caroline. Jolly good. So you're thinking of someone from your past that sort of you were romantically involved with? Yes, jolly good. If you saw them on the street today, would you recognise them?
Yes.
Jolly good. I would like you just to turn and face me. I want you to stare at me. I want you to imagine that I am them.
Okay.
Okay. I'm not going to start making out with you or anything. That's a different show.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, they have like sort of short blonde hair.
Half correct.
Yeah, good.
Short.
Yeah, short hair, good. They have no hair now, if that makes you feel any better. Good. Jolly good. Right, you're going to have to be honest during this, because obviously you're the only one in the room that knows, so just keep staring at me. Fond memories of them? No. Good, excellent, awkward. OK, so be completely honest at this point, because you're the only one that knows.
Right.
Does that look anything like them?
Yeah, it's 2 legs and 2 arms and a head.
Good, excellent.
Yeah, it's a good
Psychic.
start. Yeah.
Not impressed. Fine, excellent. I want you to imagine that you're stood in the playground with them.
Okay.
And you're shouting their name in your head again and again and again. Obviously not out loud, just in your head, because if you say it out loud, that's just me listening as opposed to mind reading. And a man listening is still sort of magic, but it's a different sort. So, so just imagine you're shouting their name in your head again. You're very angry about this. As a gift for coming up, if you tell me your star sign, I'll tell you your horoscope for the month as like a little thank you for joining me on stage.
Leo.
Leo. There's good news and bad news.
Good. Brilliant.
The good news is, due to the ascension of Neptune, you're going to come into hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of cash.
Awesome.
The bad news is, astrology isn't real. Soz. God, OK. OK, so this... Imagine their name in front of you on like a billboard. Jumble up all the letters. Just think of one of the letters now. Have you got one in mind?
Yep.
Is that a U?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. That's good.
Yeah, they're not impressed, but fine, whatever. It's only 15 years of my life, but good. Good, OK. Will you close your eyes for me for a moment?
Yes.
I want to show the audience at home and the studio audience. If you can. OK, so in a moment, out loud for everyone, you're going to announce the name of this person that you're thinking of, who was a boyfriend?
Yes.
So out loud on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Luke.
Excellent, thank you very much, Caroline. You can go and take a seat. A round of applause for Caroline there.
Fantastic. Superb. Come and join me on the sofa, Peter. That's absolutely brilliant. So, when did you get interested in performing your... What's it called? It's psycho-comedy?
A psychic comedy. Psycho-comedy is...
Psychopathic comedy.
It's something else, but it's yet to be proved in a court of law, so it's fine.
They dropped the charges.
Oh,
so
well.
let's move on.
So I was a super weird child, basically. No surprises there. So I was really into... I still am super into comic books and was like, I want a superpower. And the superpower I wanted to sort of Professor Xavier's ability to read minds. And in that way that kids do, I just sort of decided, well, that's a thing that can happen.
Yeah.
So I've spent pretty much my entire life with sort of psychics and hypnotists and psychologists and magicians and sort of stealing things from them and sort of ramming it all together so that we can create that, basically.
Yes. And why do you think audiences are so drawn, or actually humans are so drawn to sort of, mind reading and the supernatural and that sort of stuff?
I think especially with the mind reading, it's that inherently we are all narcissists. And that show enables, my shows are always about the audience. They're always about sort of things that are happening to them. And people quite like being the star of the show. It can be a little bit awkward at the start, but it's nice to have a bit of attention. And the idea that you're important enough that someone could sort of intuit something about you, sort of quite interesting. And I think we've all got that sort of story. When you're driving somewhere and you look at different cars and you realise that they have that everyone in that car has a completely distinct life from you that's different and you don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
The word for that is sonder, and that is essentially the backbone of the show, is that there is a group full of people that you know nothing about, and my job is to try and figure that out, and we sort of share stories.
Yeah, and what's the word sonder?
Sonder.
And where does that come from? What language is that? Our language, is it, Anglo-Saxon? Sonder?
I mean, you've pushed me farther than I know. I didn't get past the second...
It's turned into QI all of a sudden.
I think it's important to have infotainment, so we will learn and laugh.
Sonder. No, that's fascinating, yeah. So I usually look in someone's car and there's a man picking his nose.
Good,
But anyway, that's just my experiences driving along. So what's the best magic trick that you've ever seen when you're watching magic?
That is a good question. I must admit that I am not a massive fan of magic as a thing.
Well, fuck these questions.
I think it's a very difficult thing. Theatrically, it's not that interesting, because in theatre, what you want is to watch the hero struggle to overcome things, and magic is flawed as theatre because you have someone come on stage and say, "Look, I can do anything."
Superb. So, the title of your show is
Peter Antoniou, Happy Medium.
Happy Medium. I love
Yes.
it. And where's it on at?
It's on at Sweet Venues down on the
Sweet
Grass
Venues.
Market. It's literally just after Thomas Ford, so you can see Thomas
Just
Ford at
after
7.
Thomas Ford.
And then me at 8 o'clock. So.
Absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, we've all enjoyed that, haven't we? Round of applause, please, for Peter Antoniou. Absolutely superb. Thank you so much.